Well, good morning. I'm going to show you guys how to restore an old Craftsman Radial Arm Saw. I received this one from my father-in-law, who got it from my wife's grandfather, who passed away. And it's been in storage for about 8 years, and the index part of it was stuck, so I've totally rebuilt the upper end up here where the index lock and stuff is. And yesterday I put a new bed on it. I'm using some flooring from we put down in our house. It's teak, or no, it's bamboo flooring. So I'm gonna cut these edges off here and band it, and then I'll give you a cool little hint on how to have a perfect 90 and a perfect 45, how to put indexes on it. Be back with you in just a bit. Alright, I got my wild tails cut off. The flooring splintered a little bit because of the circular saw. Made a couple of cuts on this side to try to get it where it didn't splinter, but it just splinters, so we're just going to have to live with it. I'll put some edge banding on this and make it look a little bit nicer, and show you how to make some perfect indexes. Gonna go eat some breakfast, and I'll be back in just a bit. That's the way to do a project. I've got the wild edges cut off. I put a nice trim piece around the edge. It really sturdied the tabletop up, keep it from moving. I've marked a level line down the floor, letting the saw run down this sheetrock square coming off the front. So I've marked a straight line. Now I'm going to index it. Alright, let's get started. Now that mark should never change. If I always land the saw here and set it, it should always be 90 degrees to my fence, because my fence will come off of that reference line. Alright, I've got my 90 degree index mark right there. I pulled a 45 off of the where the blade would intersect the line, and in hopes to go ahead and make my 45 index up there, but I'm gonna wait till after the fence is on, and then put a 45 on a board and work off of that. Then that way I'll be assured to have a accurate 45. As you can see, there's just enough play in the saw that I'll need to find the perfect 45. With a radial arm saw, it's not 100% accurate, but it's close. But I'm trying to increase the accuracy just a little bit by using these indexes. I won't put a 45 index on this side because of the offset of the blade puts the cut about out here, so the saw runs off the table. So I'll make an extension one day for this, and then I could probably use a 45 on this side. But for now, I'll just use a 45 on this side of the table, and let's get busy building the fence. Alright, I've gone ahead and scribed the line down the table, on the floor of the table, letting the blade go down into the table to be my permanent cut. And this will be the line that I will square the fence off of. As you can see, my index there. As long as I land the blade in that index, lock it down, I should always be 90 degrees to the fence. Alright, here we go. We're working on the fence. We're getting it glued up out of some scrap bamboo also. And I'm going to put a 45 piece right in here to hold that thing good, tight, and square. Alright, fence is on. It's square to my plowed line in the bed of the table. I have it screwed and fastened down both sides of where it's going to plunge through the fence. So let's get ready to plunge it through the fence. That noise you hear in the background is my wife refinishing a old Montgomery Ward's sewing machine. Alright, here we go. I'm going to run the saw for a second, babe. Here we go. I had to stop it to make sure. I wanted to make sure it was good and square. Here we go. Let's plunge through this. See how that bamboo tends to splinter real bad, but there's the initial cut through it. Everything looks good. It moved on me just a little bit. I'll square that up just a little bit more. I forgot to show you how I set the distance for the fence was. I marked a line to where my blade would clear any board that come up here up against the fence. That's how I set my distance. Alright, the original line I scribed is perfect. Alright, my original line I set for the 45 is perfect. As you can see, square with the fence, my line falls on 6 there and 6 there. It's perfect. If I can move it a little bit, 7 and 7, that means that's a perfect 45. Square with my fence. So I'll go ahead and move the saw over here and make me an index mark here for 45, and then I'll be in good shape. Let me get my saw set up. I'll be right back. Alright, I'm ready to make the index for the 45. Check it one more time here. You'll see that runs pretty much straight down that line. Okay, I'll first make my index. Lock this down. Okay. Besides a bit of splintering on the bamboo, pretty happy with how that turned out. This index is deep enough. I can sink the blade into it, lock her down. She'll always be square at 45 from my fence. At this point, she'll always be square at 90 with my fence. Alright, I'm happy how this thing turned out. Fence is good and square. I have a 90-degree index right here, 45-degree index over there. As long as I always land the saw in those marks and lock her down, she'll always be true to the fence. I hope this is information that you can use sometime if you're going to restore an old radial arm saw. I put a lot of time and thought in this, and I'm happy with the results.